Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
I'm 80 years old, okay? At least right now it feels like that. I made a break, you know, with my sports sessions. I don't know if I already told you that. For the book of Boba Fett, for sure not, but in general in my videos. I'm making 4 or 5 sessions of sport each week of 30 minutes or 1 hour. It depends, you know, but at least 30 minutes. And I made a break during 1 month. 2 days now that I'm doing them again. Every part of my body hurt. Okay, like my legs and my ass right now. I can't tell you how much. Because yesterday, my sport sessions, you know, the theme of it, it was the legs. Clearly, it worked. Like, I don't know what worked, but... I think that today I'm gonna do something, you know, maybe slower, maybe a yoga session or something like that to my back, to stretch a little, because right now I didn't say I know that. Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch the Book of Boba Fett season 1, episode 3. Before beginning, it seems that I need to say it again, even if I said it during my intro of the first episode, and you know it was a fair warning and it took like 2 minutes, but it seems that I need to say it in each of my intros of the Book of Boba Fett. I'm saying that because of the comments that I had on the episode 2 of people being like, you don't know things like all of these details about Star Wars, you should know them, like you can't understand the show without that. I let only the polite ones, but I had to delete some of these comments. Just know it. Okay, you can have an opinion and be like, this show, it should be watched only by the persons, you know, who are hardcore fans of Star Wars. That's your opinion, I'm respecting that, I don't share it, but I can let your comment if you're only seeing that. If you are telling me that in a non-polite way, I'm gonna delete your comments. Because of these comments, it seems that I have to repeat also into this intro the fact that I'm not an hardcore fan of Star Wars. I never said that I was. I always warned you that I was not. During the intro of the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett, during a lot of intros videos that I made for The Mandalorian, because I'm also reacting to The Mandalorian, I said it a lot. I'm the regular fan, you know, of Star Wars, which means that I watched all of the movies, that I watched, you know, also the spin-off movies. I don't know how to say it in another way, but not 100 times, you know, so I'm not an hardcore fan. I don't know all of the details, I don't remember everything about everything, and I didn't watch also the Clone Wars. You know, this show, I didn't watch it. I watched The Mandalorian. I'm not planning on watching all of the spin-off shows that we're gonna have about Star Wars. The Mandalorian, for sure. The Book of Boba Fett, it interests me, you know, to discover that universe, what they could do with it, and all that particular story, because I really think that this character, he has such a deep background that they can do plenty of stuff with him, so I want to discover that. And I'm planning, of course, to watch the one about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Count on me for that. But yes, I'm not an hardcore fan, but my opinion is the fact that these shows, they have to be good also for people like me, for regular fans. if they are really only for hardcore fans, I think that it's not good, you know, also for the show on itself to survive during a long time, during several seasons. So I'm watching it because I want to watch it. I'm making reaction videos about it because I consider that it can be interesting also to have the thoughts of someone who is a regular fan and not an hardcore fan. And I'm not gonna lie by telling you the contrary. I'm not gonna cut, you know, into my reactions or my thoughts, stuff that I said which are maybe wrong or which are maybe, you know, not things that the hardcore fans think. Do you understand what I mean by that? Like, I'm not gonna lie about it. I know that some people do, you know, just to please the fans, just to please the future viewers. That's not who I am, that's not what I want my reaction videos to be. I'm telling you things like I think them, you know, and like a regular fan like me could think. Appreciate it or not, that's your issue. I think that really if you want only the thoughts and reactions of an hardcore fan, you're on the wrong place, and I'm telling you to go find a reactor for you. We are plenty, you know, on YouTube, really plenty. You can find one reactor for you, and you know, I really think that it's gonna be better, in fact, for you to watch that kind of videos. Like, it's gonna please you for sure. It's a fair warning, I'm gonna tell it each time. If you're staying still, that's your issue, you know, and don't blame me if I'm deleting your comments, if you're not polite with me by telling me how stupid I am. That's it. I'm gonna end with that part of the intro that I wanted to make. The other thing that I wanted to discuss during this intro, it's about the show, how it's done, you know, the mood of the show, because I discussed about it with one of you on the comments, Graph. You know, during the last episode I had some issues, during the two last episodes, I had some issues to really put my finger on the mood of the show, on how they wanted it to be, you know, the DNA of the show. Like The Mandalorian, it's a western into the Star Wars universe. Like, it's so obvious with how it's done, with all of the rules that they are applying on this show, the music, the scenes, the lines, how they are filming it, how they are making it, how they are cutting all of the scenes together and all. It was really obvious. For this one, the Book of Boba Fett, I was waiting to know what they were gonna do. Like The Mandalorian, something new, something like really Star Wars, that universe, you know, also the mood of the movies. During the first episode, I had the impression that they were more going maybe on the direction of the old movies, you know, that kind of movies during the 70s. That's why also I felt the first scene, which was a little like Aliens, you know, Alien and Aliens, the beginning of each movies, all of these movements of camera like that to show us a place, like it was really slow and all. I felt it like that, but during the episode 2, it was again something else, and it was something else for each scene. Like, each scene had a different mood, a different way to film it, a different intention behind the camera, so I was really confused and lost, and I talked a lot about it during the review of the last episode. And Graph, you were the one to tell me that maybe it was coming from the guy who is filming it, you know, Robert Rodriguez, I don't know how to say it. His way to film things, in fact, and when you are looking at the filmography of the guy, like all of the Spy Kids movies, like Sin City, even if I have to consider Sin City like really something else, because Sin City, the universe on itself, it has such a mood that's really different, but also all of the other movies like The Faculty and all, it's action movies, you know, it's really action movies, like the definition of action movies, like you are doing funny lines, you are doing training moments, you are doing action moments with things which are exploding, you are making a lot of fight moments, you are making... He's like that guy. Like, if I remember the movies of him that I watched, they all have that kind of way to make action movies. Now that I think about it, the episode 2 for me was really like an episode like he's making his movies. Do you understand what I mean? We had the training moments, we had the action moments, we had the funny moments, we had all of that. That's great, you know, to have that kind of way to film a show for the Star Wars franchise. I'm all for it, why not? But still, it's not the answer for me to define the show. You can't define the show by the person who is filming it. Do you understand what I mean? I want this show to have a mood on itself, to have an atmosphere on itself, to have an intention behind that. The guy who is filming it, he doesn't define the intention of the show. Do you understand what I mean? The show has to be defined by the story, by the characters, and also by the mood of it, you know, by what you are feeling when you're watching it, by the intention behind that. Like, when you are watching it, you know what to expect, you know what you're watching. I don't know if I'm clear with that. I don't know also if I can explain better right now my thoughts, but I'm waiting still a better definition of the DNA of the show. For now, I'm okay to define it like an action show, a pure action show into the Star Wars franchise with a little inspiration from the first movie. There is something missing still, and I think that it's going also with the fact that this character, we love, you know, to discover stuff about him with all of this background and all, but we are missing still stuff to appreciate him, to connect with him. What is made about? For now, you know, the first episode, it was really the synopsis of the show. He's at that position now into this territory, he wants to do that. The second episode, it was like 25% of it, of the second episode, it was a flashback, and the 10 first minutes, it was about that situation, but it was a repetition of the message of the first episode, so I'm missing also something with the character. So maybe, you know, I'm gonna have my answers, you know, to these two questions at the same moment, because they are connected, in fact. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna stop my intro right now and let's go for this episode 3. Like usually, if you want, you have my Patreon on which you can have the episodes earlier. One day earlier with an extended or reaction part. It's the best way to support me. If you can't, that's okay. And you can still subscribe, like, comment. It's also helping me right there on YouTube. Let's go. I forgot that it hurt. I have to be more careful. And really, I have to do a session of stretching. Oh, my back! See, it's already better. I think that I'm gonna cut into it, but I did that, you know, 5 times and it's already better. It's really the muscles, you know, like, yes. I have to do some stretching. I did it before and after my session of sport yesterday, but it's not enough. If you didn't watch my intro and my warning at the beginning of it, and you're gonna be on the comments to tell me things that I warned you about, I'm gonna delete your comment. I'm saying that again just at the beginning of this episode, so you're warned.
You are under the protection of the name that should not be spoken.
You can say it, Jabba. I can't hurt you.
I was concerned that you would feel insulted
By a name?
Why would I feel insulted?
because you felt threatened.
Well, now I am insulted.
Yes?
The Trandoshans took the city centre, the Aqualish, the Workers' District here, and the Clatoonians. Everyone is waiting to see what kind of leader you are.
Me too. I want to see what you're made about. The actual you, the you from that Krrsantan.
I am Lord Peel, I'm a watermonger in the Workers' District.
What is your
The
position,
Aqualish.
Lord Fett?
That's it, no?
No one respects you.
Enough.
Let him speak.
A street gang of insolent youths have been stealing my inventory. Now, this never happened under the other daimyo. They are half man, half machine. They modify their bodies with droid parts to make
Oh, interesting.
I beseech you, Lord Fett. Rid the streets of Moses.
The mix, you know.
Heard, and I will double my tribute to you.
Fennec, she's already like, money? You said money?
You stronger.
That's a crime.
That's a pretty honest response.
You're a daimyo. And why'd you let the manga charge us a month's wages for a week's war?
You live in the workers' district. You all should be working.
There is no work, mighty daimyo.
There are real issues to deal with. That will be interesting. And these characters also.
Then you will work for me.
I thought so.
Give them 500.
What? They owe 13.
I heard you the first time.
Ah.
And cut your prices.
Mm.
Rest of you gather up your gap, follow me.
Ah. Another flashback. Coming back a lot this one. I appreciate all of the music, you know, around this group, like during the ceremony at the end of the episode 2.
10-ton striders have already collected protection money for the same territory you lay claim to.
You don't have to pay that speeder by can.
He's gonna tell you to deal with them and then to come back to ask for your
We are
tribute.
happy, but we do not want to be taken advantage of by paying protection to Boba.
You will not hear from the Nicholas Enrise again.
We look forward to our partnership.
Are you sincere with that, or are you gonna want the other group right now? Oh no, they attacked? Oh no. They're not all dead? No. Oh, and you're burning the... Gonna go for revenge now. Sleep well, they said. You? I don't want to hate you. To consider you as an enemy. What did you? What did you do? That's right. Where are your guards? Hello, girl, and all of you. No, you know, said it. This. You have too much food only for the two of you, when a lot of people seem to not have access to that. You seem sorry, really. What? Why? Oh, the actor! You took him back from Machete and all of the Spy Kids movies?
We're off up to Wayne, and I will consider a truce.
Bye.
And what of the huts?
Do we want to trust them? They sent you.
I offer him back if you renounce all claims to Jabba's legacy on top of...
Like they care. We're gonna keep him! I'm sorry. That's what I wanted. That's why I didn't want to hate him, to consider him as an enemy or what. Okay, that's a nice gesture, you know, to release him, but I hope that he's gonna come back.
Do you believe what the Hutt said?
No!
I have no reason to believe them.
Ah,
They would
please.
benefit from their enemies fighting one another.
Imprints on the first human, it seems. Now that we arrived, I will begin his training. I think he likes this. Yes. I will spend more time with it. You should. They form strong bonds with their owners. It is said that the witches of Dappamere even rode them through the forest.
Ah, could be interesting.
I want to learn to
cool.
ride this one.
Aha.
You what? I want to ride it.
Hello.
Is this the spot?
Excuse me, Lord Fett.
Not now. Don't worry. He'll be back.
What a squad. With their motorcycles, you know, like that in different colors. I thought of the Power Rangers.
We have a few questions for him.
Unfortunately, Mayor Moksha's schedule.
Didn't you learn the lesson?
Complicated.
If you wish to continue breathing, I advise you to weigh your next words carefully.
Actually, I may be able to.
Someone just said that he couldn't be available for that appointment. The place is yours.
He just locked the door.
I think so. Fennec, again, I love your attitude. He escapes from the place. The mayor is not here. He's not available for the 20 next days, not because he has appointments, because he's not there. Stop hurting these droids. Well done. Really an action movie like the 70s movies, the first Star Wars, the movies during that period of time.
Where is he? He's working with the Pikes.
He's walking.
Is he?
Nice. I love their styles, you know, to that new squad.
Are you sure?
I know about when I see him.
Good work. Keep an eye on them. Sorry.
You don't have to be sorry, mate. I made it up for this. Right, why?
These are just the first wave. They're going to war.
Yes. First wave.
Then we will be ready.
Already? It felt like 10 minutes. It really felt like a 10 minutes episode. I don't know if you felt it like that, but it was really... Maybe because of the rhythm of it, maybe because we didn't have any silent moment, any moment, you know, with just contemplating a place or something like that, which was the case during the two first episodes, you know, we had some moments when we were just contemplating stuff, like moments like that, when right there we were mostly into the present time. When we were not into the present time, it was for actions happening like that. During the present time, same, no moments of break. That's why maybe it felt quicker than the two first episodes. I think that for good, you know, I put my finger on what was my main interrogation after the two first episodes. I didn't get, you know, the references behind the show the environment, you know, the mood that they wanted to print into it. I really think by watching this episode that it's what we discussed about Graph, the fact that it's about Robert Rodriguez and what he's doing, you know, when he's filming stuff. It's a mix between action movies with funny lines, with funny moments. It's made to be really an action thing, like the kind of movies that he filmed into the past, you know, Spy Kids and all of these ones. The fact that during this episode we have a new character who is Machete, you know, into the Spy Kids franchise. But you know, I said it in intro, still, even if you can explain, you know, how the show is filmed by thinking of that, you know, by the fact that it's in fact defined by the guy who is filming it, which is not the case, you know, for The Mandalorian. Again, The Mandalorian, it's really a western into a franchise universe. Okay, you can define the way to film, but you can't define the DNA of the show, the mood of the show on itself, of the story with that. Right there, I have the impression that they are defining it a little more. And I think also that it's confirming what I said in intro, my impression of the fact that they're gonna define it, you know, the mood of the show, the DNA of the show, with defining more the main character. Again, first episode, it was a synopsis of the show. We know what Boba Fett he wants to do into that place. We know what he wants, but we are not seeing him really doing stuff, you know, his intentions. Second episode, it's more about the flashback. Third episode, finally, we are seeing him doing stuff into the city with people, hiring people, releasing other people, discussing with the Hutt, really taking decisions, making actions to do things. We can see his intentions with that. And with that, I have the impression that we're defining more what we can expect into this show, what we can do with it, in what direction we can go with it. Do you understand what I mean? Like before that, before this episode, I know, you know, what place he has into this territory, that we have allies, that we have enemies. That's all. With this episode, we have new allies, new characters. I'm thinking about this squad, which is gonna be really cool, you know, like Power Rangers. I'm sorry, but with their motorcycles like that in different colors, I really thought of the Power Rangers. But you know, that squad with having machines inside of them, that was a great idea. And how they are, you know, their attitude and all, that can be really cool to have them, in addition of the two guards that we already had, the ugly ones. So they can be cool, and of course we have Machete with his creature, that's also new characters. So yes, we have these new characters, but also we have Boba Fett really taking decisions about hiring them, about being against the guy, you know, who asked him to intervene, but trying to find a compromise during that situation, finding one. After that, the fact that he heard, you know, these guys, you know, he was not just against them because they were stealing stuff. It's showing an aspect of his personality and also of his intentions for the rest of the season, for the rest of the story, how he's gonna do stuff. After that, you know, with the killer, how he dealt with that. I'm not talking about the fight, but also how he dealt really with him, the fact that he wanted to give it back to the Hutt and they refused, and he didn't care about keeping him, you know, as an hostage or whatever, so he released him. It's showing also an aspect of his personality and about what he wants to do, how he wants to rule. His discussion with the Hutt was also interesting for that. At the end, what is happening, like, it's showing more about who he is right now. Before that, you know, we discovered about who he is during the flashbacks, but not about him right now. Okay, we know him from all of the stories before this show, you know, I'm not only talking about when he appeared into The Mandalorian, but I'm talking also about all of his story with his dad and all. This is his show. Into his show, we have to see him act acting, doing stuff, revealing his personality, revealing stuff about himself, his principles, his ambitions, stuff like that. Finally, we're discovering that, really, but it's episode 3. Again, episode 1, it was just the synopsis of the show, we didn't see all of that, not really. And episode 2, it was a flashback. Okay, we saw a lot about his attitude, his personality, his feelings, his intention, but during that period of time, what about him right now? With what we discovered during the flashback of this episode, the fact that all of his group was killed like that, so for sure he's gonna go, you know, to have revenge and all of that, for sure it's gonna show another aspect of his personality, and it's gonna explain how we can end with a guy like that right now into the present time. But again, I want to know that also with the present time, the scenes that we are having with him into the present time. So that episode 3 is really much more satisfying for me, you know, as a viewer, because I didn't see the time passing. Like, clearly I had the impression that it was an episode of 10 minutes, and in fact when I'm thinking about it, you know, when I'm trying to remember all of the things that happened, in fact a lot happened, so it's really a good sign for me to be like, it was short. Finally, I can put my finger on how the show is filmed, the DNA of the show, the mood of the show, it's a little more defined with this episode, because finally we have stuff about the main character into the present time. Him revealing his personality, his principles, his intentions, his ambition. That's better. It's not perfect, you know, I would want more stuff, you know, about Boba Fett, but for the rest, it's better. I'm a little sorry, I don't know if it's a good word for that. I don't know if it's good, you know, the fact that they took 3 episodes to get to that. I mean, me, I knew that I was gonna watch all of the season 1, but someone who wants to test the show, is he gonna stay until the episode 3? Is he gonna give it a try like I did? Again, I'm sure that the hardcore fans of the franchise of Star Wars, they're gonna stay no matter what, and they're gonna love all of the episodes that much no matter what. But again, think like me, you know, like a regular fan of Star Wars, who appreciates the franchise, who watched all of the movies and who wants to discover this show. I'm not sure, you know, that they're gonna stay. Which is a little bad, and I'm a little afraid for the show, you know, the fact that they can lose viewers by taking time like that to define themselves and their main character. But it's better, it's really better. Tell me, what did you think about this episode? I really want to know if you appreciated it like me, and if you felt the difference like me. Did you feel it or not? So it's all for me and for you for today, so it's all for me for now, so bye for now, bye! And I'm gonna try to get out of my position. It hurts!
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Hey.